Did you know that the American coin currency known as the 5-cent nickel only has a makeup of 25% nickel metal, but also is made up of 75% copper, despite the name of the currency being nickel? Makes you think, huh? Why ain't it called a copper?
Because it's only 75% copper.
That shit bigger than 25% nickel. What you got, Shnigma or something?
If you take 75 and subtract the 25 that is nickel, you are left with 50% copper, so it is only half of each. Thus you should call it either a copper or a nickel.
Cut that shit out right now. I'm deducting that logic by saying it's technically 100% nickel because it a nickel, and that minus 75% copper is 25% once again. So you add that to the 50% that you came up with, and the nickel is 75 while the copper is 50.
If you take the nickel at a very objective view, the name implies that it is in fact 100% nickel, as you stated. However, if you look at 75% copper, that means that it consists of 175% metal. That means that there is 75% extra metal that could be either nickel or copper, because due to the laws of nature being random, it has a chance of being either. However, because you can add that 25% nickel, that means there is 200% metal. That means there is 2 nickels in one. And if you take 1 nickel out, that means that you split the 125 nickel into 62.5 and the copper into 37.5 copper. Thus, that means there is more nickel and ever 2 nickels than copper.
I understand what makes you think that 37.5 copper is indeed less than 62.5 nickel, but there is a hidden factor that you are not seeing. If you get 37.5 grams of gold, which is worth $1,429.125 US dollars, if you turn this into cents, it's 142,912.5 cents, which you then turn into nickels, which is 228,582.5 nickels. This may seem like a lot, but a poor man once went into a bank and turned in his 37.5 grams of gold and was given 1 nickel. He then flipped this nickel to me and said, "Everything has its beauty, but not everyone sees it." I then realized that the nickel is not something we can properly measure into the material of a coin or a coin of itself. I then slid the nickel into the dollar slot of an ATM and realized that it is actually a paper. Similarly to a dollar, a nickel's surface area, I'd say, is about a 15th of a whole entire dollar. So if you take a dollar and divide it by 15, you'll get exactly 1/15 of a dollar, which makes it worth less than an insulated wire of copper. Therefore, it is nor nickel or copper, then it is useless.